All right, let's start with the key highlights of the Delhi Declaration, which was unanimously agreed upon at the G20 Summit Day 1. A big win for India, and Haim has all the details.
Thank you so much, Shivan. Yes, the New Delhi G20 Summit began with a bang. The chances of reaching a consensus on a joint declaration were seemingly low, and the odds of doing that on the first day were even less. But to the credit of Indian negotiators, against all odds, it finally did happen. The much-celebrated joint declaration, it was forged on the very first day of the summit. Now, in the 83 paragraphs spread across 29 pages, the declaration touches upon 10 areas of global concern, apart from a preamble talking about planet, people, peace and prosperity. Now, starting with the contentious issue of peace here. The New Delhi Declaration uses a toned-down wording while talking about the war in Ukraine. Rather than talking on Russia directly, it calls on all states to refrain from use of force against others. Now, the accommodative declaration also talks about different views and national positions of different states on this issue. Finally, the document slightly modifies and reiterates India's position that today's era is not of war. Moving on to the economy and markets then, G20 nations vow to protect the vulnerable by promoting equitable growth and enhancing macroeconomic and financial stability. Addressing a pressing need of the hour, the G20 declaration also endorsed supervision and oversight of crypto assets and activities. The 20 largest economies also renewed their commitment to ensure a level playing field and fair competition. They intend to do so by discouraging protectionism and market distorting practices. Moving on to another pressing concern of our times, climate change. In a move that secures interests of the developing world, the Delhi Declaration uses vows to phase down and not phase out coal-based power. The G20 members also reaffirmed their commitment to scale up sustainable finance. The New Delhi Declaration, it also notes the need for over $5.8 trillion for developing countries. The sum is required in the pre-2030 period for developing nations to implement their emission targets. A global alliance on biofuels was also launched during the summit, which found its mention in the declaration as well. Finally, the G20 declaration makes specific pitches to reform existing international organizations. To begin with, it demands the United Nations to be responsive to the needs of its entire membership. The document also talks about reinvigorated multilateralism, better, bigger and more effective multilateral development banks, and a new global financing pact, which seems to be in the works as well. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.